Welcome to Building a Second Brain, how to capture, organize, and retrieve your ideas using digital notes. My name is Tiago Forte. I will be your guide and your instructor. I'm so excited to be here, so excited to kick off this course with you. Let's dive right in. I'd like to start off with the promise of the course. The entire course was built around this promise. This is what you're committed to, what I'm committed to. This will be sort of our North Star. And the promise of the course is that you will learn how to capture, organize, and retrieve your ideas and insights using digital notes with a systematic approach and with tools that you trust to support creative breakthroughs in your work. We'll be returning to this from time to time to make sure that we're on track. Before we start Unit 1, you should know a little bit more about me and where I'm coming from. My business is called Forte Labs. I work across a variety of different types of media, from corporate work like organizational consulting and employee trainings and workshops, and also direct to consumer products and services like coaching, like my blog, and the course that you're currently taking. Unit 1 is an introduction to the course, with everything you'll need to know to fully benefit from your participation. We'll start off each unit with an intention. The intention of this first unit is simply to understand the learning objectives of the course and how it will be conducted, including the schedule, the components, the tools that we'll use, and our approach. This course may be different from other self-paced online courses that you've taken in the past, in that it takes place on specific days at specific times. So I want to give special attention to the course timeline to be sure you don't miss anything. You'll notice that the lectures take place on Mondays from 5 to 6:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. On Thursdays, starting April 6th, we'll have discussion sessions. These are optional but highly recommended. Here are the final 5 sessions. We'll cover 2 units every Monday, and the final session on May 1st will be dedicated to a final discussion and wrap-up. The recordings for each Monday lecture will be available immediately after the session for you to review before the Thursday discussion. Building a Second Brain takes place across 3 different platforms, and I'd like to tell you how they work. The first one on the left is Teachable, which is where the course curriculum and content lives. This includes the full-length lecture videos, the condensed recordings like the one you're watching now, the slides, and the chat transcripts. You can access this at learn.fortelabs.co, and you created an account when you enrolled in the course. The second is the online discussion forum, which is hosted on a platform called Discourse. The forum is sort of like the town square of the course. It's where we'll have ongoing discussions, you can complete exercises, I'll share with you additional resources, and you can get feedback on your work. This can be accessed at forum.fortelabs.co, and I'll send you an invitation to register right after session 1. And the third is the live sessions, for which we're using a program called Zoom, which works on your desktop computer or on a mobile device. These are the twice-weekly video conference calls. For the Monday lecture sessions only, you can use this shortcut, zoom.fortelabs.co. You'll need to register, and you'll also need a password, which you can find in the Teachable course curriculum. I'd like to show you what these are actually going to look like. This is the Teachable interface. You can see the class curriculum on the left. This will slowly be filled in as we complete each session. Teachable also offers a mobile app so you can view the lessons on the go. Here's what the online forum looks like. You can see it's a pretty standard interface with comment threads and notifications. The first thing you'll want to do after registering is complete the Getting Started guide, which is that blue box at the top of the page. That will have you set up your profile, introduce yourself, and check out the main sections of the forum. Discourse also offers a mobile app for iOS and Android. These are the main categories in the site. In course feedback, you can give me feedback and suggestions for how to conduct the course. In tips and tricks, we can all share new apps, integrations, or news in the world of productivity and knowledge management. In show and tell, you can show off the results of your exercises or other projects you're working on to get feedback. The Brain Trust is our repository of useful notes. I'll contribute my source notes and other resources that I found, and I encourage you to do the same. Questions and answers is for me to answer your questions, but also for us to answer each other's questions. So I encourage you to post any questions you have there. You can also set your notification level using this button, so you can keep track of topics and questions and themes that you're most interested in. And third, this is what Zoom looks like. I really encourage you, if at all possible, to use your video. It provides a completely different experience when I and others can match a voice to a face to the different comments on the online forum. Let's talk now a little bit more about what we're really here to accomplish. The short answer is Evernote's original mission, which is to give you a second brain. Now, what does that actually mean? This is a very well-known model in the world of design that says that as data enters, let's say, your life or your brain, data here is represented by the green arrow, it can slowly be transformed into higher and higher value forms of information. So in level 1, it's just information. It's just kind of facts and figures and that sort of thing. As you add value to that information, it becomes knowledge, which is more practical, it's more useful, it can be applied to specific problems in a certain context. And finally, as it continues to go up the scale, that knowledge can eventually become wisdom. And by wisdom, I don't mean anything magical or mysterious, it's just very impactful, very high leverage knowledge. Now, what I've noticed is that most people's note-taking is stuck at best at level 1, which is storing information. So they have some digital notes or they have some files that they've kept, but it's not really structured or stored in a way that makes it easy to retrieve and easy to use. What we're trying to do in this course is to level up our game from level 1, just storing information, to actually generating and applying knowledge, to use Evernote or whatever other digital note-taking or file storage tool that you use, to use it as a thinking tool. This gets us closer to and sort of lays the foundation for that level 3, which is really making an impact using the knowledge that we have. This level 2 is like a bridge between level 1 and level 3 that produces the insights and the building blocks that are necessary for creative inspiration to occur. This idea of laying the foundation or creating a supportive environment is captured in this quote, which is, "The object isn't to make art, it's to be in that wonderful state which makes art inevitable." Basically, we can't produce creative breakthroughs on demand, but we can set up our environment and our life and our workflow in a way that makes art or inspiration or breakthrough just more likely and more possible. Let's talk now about our approach. How is our approach going to be different from all the million courses and books and seminars on creative output and getting organized and productivity? I like this quote because it sheds light on something I've noticed in this world of kind of creativity and productivity. This is from Scott Barry Kaufman, a researcher who describes in The Atlantic his extensive research on creativity and creative people. In concluding his research, he found that creativity doesn't just involve imagination. It also involves motivation, organization, and collaboration. And I think most books and classes on creativity tend to focus on those first two, on being more imaginative, having a better imagination, or on motivation. This course is very different. This course is going to focus on organization and on collaboration, two things that are normally neglected in our discussion about how to create and manage projects. I also want to give you a bit of a map to show you where we're going and how we're going to get there. I know these terms don't yet mean anything to you, but this course is structured around 3 pillars, which are progressive summarization, which is the method that I've developed for capture, para, which is about organizing, and just-in-time project management, which is about retrieving. We'll start with Unit 2, looking at the practice of organizing using the para system. And this is kind of so you can organize your existing files and have a good foundation on which to build on. Then we'll do Unit 3, looking at the theory of why those principles work. Then we'll move to capture, look at progressive summarization, practice, and theory. And finally, we'll end up with Units 6 and 7, looking at just-in-time project management, where you'll finish off the course by seeing how to actually directly apply everything you learn in the course to your day-to-day tasks and your current projects. Finally, I'd like to tell you a little bit about the takeaway email that I'll be sending you after each session. It will include action steps, videos you need to watch, things you need to read, or other actions that you should perform to keep up with the course. Second is weekly exercises. I've very carefully chosen and designed the exercises to be extremely useful not only individually, but they also will combine and lead up to your final project, which is a PKM, Personal Knowledge Management, workflow canvas, basically a global map of your entire knowledge management workflow. I really highly encourage you to do the exercises. It's like the difference between reading about exercise and actually doing exercise. And I will provide you very detailed and extensive feedback on your work in the online forum. Third is the source notes. I'll actually be sharing with you not only the name or the title of the source that I reference, I'll be completely open sourcing my full notes on every single source that I use in this course. That way, you'll be able to not only follow up on topics or themes that you find interesting, you'll actually be able to see how I turned a pretty messy and chaotic series of notes into a tangible deliverable, which is this course. And finally is bonus content. From time to time, I'll be including extra reading or links to videos that expand upon or build upon what was covered in that week's lecture. These are completely optional, don't stress out about them, but if you'd like to go deeper on a particular unit, you'll want to take a look at the bonus content. And that's Unit 1. You should have a great understanding now of the logistics of the course, how they're going to work, the timeline, the different tools we'll use, and the unique approach that Building a Second Brain takes on the problem of personal knowledge management. In the next unit, we'll cover Organizing for Insight, which is the first practical system, para, that we'll look at for organizing your digital life.